thing is, this has been going on for years, and it's just hit the surface now. I'm not trying to be racist anyway with what I'm going to say or anything like that, right? I'm saying it fairly. We go out with about 3 other guys with us because last time we did go out at the beginning of the year, 4 Muslim guys walking around with gare on, maybe even more. We don't actually know how many more because we didn't actually keep track of it for the whole night. But they tried it on with us.
That's the steel bangle that is one of the signs of Sikhism. Yeah.
No offence, but why are Muslim guys walking around with gare on? Why are Muslim guys walking around with gare on if that's a Sikh identity? We stood there chatting to them and then chatting to them, and then we kind of got a bit sussed here. This isn't right. And then when we carried on talking to them, then our mates came and started talking to them. They were like, yeah, look, we're Muslims wearing gare. And we were like, well, why are you wearing gare?
And what did they say?
They were like, oh, yeah. They laughed it off and walked away.
चैट करते ने अपनी गल्लां दे विच ले लिया पता नहीं उन्होंने की जादू कीता सानू कोई पता नहीं लग्या फिर उन स्कूल दे मूहरे मैनू ला गया ट्रेन च मैनू ला गया ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਬੋਲਣ ਲੱਗੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਰਥਡੇ ਹੋਏ 15 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 16 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬਰਥਡੇ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ 2 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਘਰੋਂ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ ਸਭ ਕੋਲ ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਡੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਮੰਮੀ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੈਗਨੈਂਟ ਆ बाद मैं बहुत मेहनत की 5 महीने लिए फेस नहीं देखा कि किदा भी है कि किदा भी नहीं है हम जो सानू बारे पता लगे कि प्रेगनेंट है बेबी होया फिर असं सुले भी देखा जिदा फेस टू फेस वो गल्लां कीतियां पर वो जिदा असं उन्होंने कहा भी असं ब्याह करांगे तेरा इहदे नाल पर वो मैनूं कहंदा कि नहीं मैं ब्याह करूंगा पर मैं तुहाडे गुरुद्वारे जाके मत्था नहीं टेकूंगा तुहाडे अगे झुकूंगा नहीं फिर असं उन्होंने फैमिली बारे बहुत गल्लां पूछियां और सानू कहंदा कि मैं आपकी फैमिली जे मेरी सिस्टर इदा करूंगी मैं कदे एक्सेप्ट नहीं करूंगा जे मेरी सिस्टर किसी सिख नाल या किसी बोलना चाहोगे तो असं उन्होंने किवें कर देवांगे मैं यही कहना चाहुंदी हां जिद्दां अज असीं औखे ना एक सुल्ले ने साडी जिंदगी सारी खराब कर दित्ती है कदे भी कोई भी किसी के नाल इदा ना हो मैं सारियां अपनी धीआं भैणां नूं यही बेनती करदी हां कि अपने माँ बाप के कहने च रहो अपने माँ बाप की सुनो माँ बाप एक बहुत बड़ी अनमोल चीज है उन्होंने ना खवा जेडे सुले आ अपनी कुड़ियां नूं लै जांदे आ उन्होंने यूज करके बाद विच बेचदे आ ते उन्हां नूं छड्डदे आ
First time I was away from home on my own as an independent, went to college, and the people that I was exposed to were all Muslim. That's when they took advantage. They took advantage of that fact. When I was in my classes, I was the only actually female in the class because the sort of nature of the subject that I was doing, I was the only female in the class. And there was no Christian, there was no Jew, there was no other Sikh, they were all Muslim in that class. That's when they took advantage. They took advantage of that fact. There was about, I would say, 3 of them who sort of, I would say at that time, became my close friends. Right? But it sort of took them 3 to 4 months to sort of become very good friends with me. After that sort of 3 to 4 months, there was one person, there was one male in particular who would sit down with me, have long discussions regarding his faith and my faith at that time. He would sit down with me, tell me in regards to heaven and earth, heaven and hell, everything, and he would sit with me and tell me how. I can give you one example which still sort of taunts me to this day. He said to me, did you know in your religion that you can have sexual relations outside of husband and wife? And I said no. Me not knowing about my religion was a big thing at that time because I didn't know much about my own religion. He used that against me. But everything he told me I would believe. All there in the back of my head, I knew about my religion, but because he was, how can I say it? He was so
manipulative.
He was very manipulative. I was emotionally vulnerable, you could sort of say, as well. And he took advantage of that on me. After that, he started to get close to me, took me out on a couple of dates, and he bought me very expensive gifts. The first thing that he actually bought me was a mobile phone. I mean, back then, mobile phones were the it thing to have.
Right.
As soon as it was bought, he could have logs on me 24 hours a day. He'd sort of ring me up first thing in the morning, where are you, how are you? And what actually happened was, it got to the stage where he convinced me to even leave home. He told me that I'd get nothing at home. He'd tell me things that my parents would do to me if they find out that I was dating him. He introduced me to his family. The family embraced me. The family were very happy, showed me that they had lots of money and that I would be safe. The main thing that they kept saying to me was a reassurance that I would be safe. I mean, to me, I didn't understand that at that time. He then actually went on to say that, you know, he said, you know, calm. It was just kept pressure just kept coming on to me, you know, calm, you need to leave home, it's never going to happen. And, you know, he kept saying those lines to me, if you love me, you'll do it for me, if you love me, you'll do it for me. All he kept saying was, you've only got to sort, I don't think there was any ceremony, but he only said I had to repeat a couple of lines and I'd become a Muslim.